What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for NFL Super Bowl. Final look.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon
so you don't miss our new videos.
In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for this week's NFL slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, NFL Super Bowl Sunday. Let's go over the Super Bowl slate here. Let's take a look at the quarterback position. So I like Patrick Mahomes from the Kansas City Chiefs playing the San Francisco 49ers. They have a good defense overall. They've been good versus opposing quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes averaging 19.3 fantasy points per game on the season. He's getting an average of 4.7 rush attempts per game. Got 12 rushes in the last two games. And he's going to be about 55% owned. Projected at 19.9 fantasy points here on Super Bowl Sunday. He's 10,600 DraftKings salary. Now I like Patrick Mahomes because you're not getting a big discount with Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy sitting at 10,000 DraftKings salary. Although Brock Purdy has averaged more than Patrick Mahomes on the season, 20.2 fantasy points per game on the season. But he certainly does not have the upside and, of course, the pressure of the Super Bowl. We know Patrick Mahomes and what he can do. He's hard to beat. So I'm just going to have to go with Patrick Mahomes here versus the San Francisco 49ers. Okay, let's take a look at the running back position. So for the 49ers, the reason I don't really want to play Brock Purdy, because I think this guy is going to get the bulk of the production here. I like Christian McCaffrey from the San Francisco 49ers playing the Kansas City Chiefs, who have a good defense overall. They've been good versus opposing running backs. So Christian McCaffrey, he's averaging 25.9 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 17 rush attempts per game and 5.2 pass targets per game. Projected at 27.3 fantasy points here on Super Bowl Sunday. He's 12,000 DraftKings salary. And Vegas thinks there's going to be 47.5 points scored in this game. They have the 49ers favored by 2. Now, Christian McCaffrey scored 29 and 32 fantasy points in his last two games off of 20 and 17 rush attempts on top of 5 and 12 pass targets. So I like Christian McCaffrey here versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh, McCaffrey's going to be about 69% owned, so some monster ownership on Christian McCaffrey. Just got to be careful if you don't play him and he goes off, your lineup is toast. So that's why his ownership is going to be so high, but what that does is gives you the opportunity to make a contrarian lineup without Christian McCaffrey. You could look at a guy like Isaiah Pacheco from the Kansas City Chiefs playing the San Francisco 49ers, who have a good defense overall, been good versus opposing running backs. So both these teams, good defensive teams here, no edge to be had there. Isaiah Pacheco averaging 16 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 14.6 rush attempts per game and 3.5 pass targets per game. And he's projected at 16.2 fantasy points here tonight. He's only 8,000 DraftKings salary, so if he can put up over 20 fantasy points and McCaffrey doesn't put up over 30, that's how you could look at it here in terms of return on value, or having Isaiah Pacheco potentially be a better return on value for his price tag. So Isaiah Pacheco scored 18, and 16 fantasy points in the last three games, knocking on the door of that 20 fantasy point game those past couple of games. He got 24, 15, and 24 rush attempts in those games, on top of 4, 1, and 1 pass target. So that's a pretty heavy volume for Isaiah Pacheco. Certainly do like this pick. So I like Isaiah Pacheco here versus the San Francisco 49ers. And did I mention he's going to be about 46% owned? I don't want to forget these ownership numbers, so I'll remember that moving forward. Let's take a look at the wide receiver position.
Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching.
If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal,
all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won.
And we'll send you $25 PayPal.
So it's that easy,
and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video.
So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you.
So up until this point, I think it's been pretty clear cut in terms of the picks, the fantasy picks. But once you get to the wide receiver position, there's a lot of options here on the table. So I'll go over a few of those options here. So right out the gate here, as a stud pick, you got Deebo Samuel or Brandon Ayuk from the San Francisco 49ers. And between those two guys, you got Deebo Samuel sitting at $9,200 DraftKings salary, Brandon Ayuk at $8,800 DraftKings salary. I think it's a coin toss here between those two guys, so I'm not going to read too much into that one. But if you want to move down in salary here, Rashod Rice from the Kansas City Chiefs playing the San Francisco 49ers, who have a good defense overall, but they do give up the 11th most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. So far it looks like the wide receivers on the Kansas City Chiefs side have the favorable matchups, which does bode well for Patrick Mahomes sitting at quarterback. So Rashod Rice, he is averaging 13.7 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 6.4 pass targets per game. He's going to be about 48% owned, projected at 16.4 fantasy points here on Super Bowl Sunday. He is $7,600 DraftKings salary, and Rashod Rice scored 13, 9, and 30 fantasy points in the last 3 games, off of 9, 4, and 12 pass targets. So I like Rashod Rice here versus the San Francisco 49ers. Okay, now looking at some other Kansas City wide receiver options here. You want to save some salary. Here are some value plays or sleeper picks, whatever you want to call them. But I like Marquez Valdes-Scantling from the Kansas City Chiefs playing the San Francisco 49ers. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, so he's only averaging 3.6 fantasy points per game on the season. He is averaging 2.6 pass targets per game. He's going to be about 18% owned, and he's projected at 5.9 fantasy points here in the Super Bowl, only $3,000 DraftKings salary. So Marquez Valdes-Scantling scored 6 and 8 fantasy points in the last 2 games off of 2 and 4 pass targets. So you're really just looking for Marquez Valdes-Scantling to get a few pass targets here in this game. And he doesn't need much to return value. But if he does happen to catch a touchdown or a pass for 30 plus yards or something like that, he's going to crush value. So I like Marquez Valdes-Scantling here versus the San Francisco 49ers. And you could put Justin Watson right in there in that category. Now, he's only $2,400 DraftKings salary, averaging 5.6 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 3.3 pass targets per game. But you see, Marquez Valdes-Scantling has got more of a target share the past 3 weeks than Justin Watson. But Justin Watson going to be about 14% owned, projected at 4.1 fantasy points here tonight, only $2,400 DraftKings salary. So these are going to be your 2 salary saver options here, your sleeper pick options at wide receiver. If you want to save some salary and load the rest of your lineup. So I like Justin Watson as well, but I do prefer Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all the tools for NFL. This is a great time to get in and try everything for 1 month. The tools are all about saving research time. You can see the last 3 games, the fantasy points per game, the targets they got per game, so you can see how involved they are in the offense, the rushes they got per game. Seeing all this stuff on one screen helps you save time and make better picks. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Okay, moving on to the tight end position. Of course, you got Travis Kelce. Let's just go over him because he is an absolute beast. From the Kansas City Chiefs playing the San Francisco 49ers, who have a good defense overall. They've been good versus tight ends. Travis Kelce averaging 15.1 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 8.1 pass targets per game. Going to be about 50% owned, projected at 22.5 fantasy points here tonight. So he's 10,200 DraftKings salary. Now Travis Kelce has scored 32, 25, and 14 fantasy points in the last 3 games, off of 11, 6, and 10 pass targets, and even got a rush attempt in there. So of course you got monster potential here from Travis Kelce. And if you can somehow fit Kelce and Mahomes in the lineup, maybe go with one of those value plays at wide receiver, then kind of dabble the rest with value plays for San Francisco 49ers. That'd probably be the power lineup I would look to build around. So I like Travis Kelce here versus the San Francisco 49ers. Now the other tight end on the slate you got to take a look at here, and he's a pretty good pick for his salary, is George Kittle from the San Francisco 49ers playing the Kansas City Chiefs, who have a good defense overall, and they've been good versus opposing tight ends. George Kittle averaging 13.3 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 5.6 pass targets per game. He's going to be about 38% owned, and he's on the field for 84% of the snaps. He's projected at 12.6 fantasy points here on Super Bowl Sunday. He's 6,400 DraftKings salary. Now, George Kittle scored 5 and 18 fantasy points in the last 2 games, off of 3 and 7 pass targets. So I like George Kittle here versus the Kansas City Chiefs. And if you are looking for that sleeper pick at the tight end position, take a look at Noah Gray from the Kansas City Chiefs. He's averaging 4.2 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 2.4 pass targets per game. He's going to be about 15% owned, but what I like about this pick, or this sleeper pick, is he scored 3, 5, and 3 fantasy points in the last 3 games, and he got 5, 3, and 1 pass target. So in the last 2 games, he got 8 pass targets. And I think that's what makes him a good sleeper pick. He could get a handful of targets here tonight for the Kansas City Chiefs, sitting at only 1,800 DraftKings salary. And my goodness, if he finds the end zone, what a play he will be. So I like Noah Gray as a sleeper pick here versus the San Francisco 49ers. And you know what, everyone? It's been a fantastic NFL season. I'm sorry I did not do a video for every week. I kind of trailed off there for a little while. You know, guys, I've been doing these draft dashboard videos every single day for like the past 5 years, it feels like. I mean, I have to look back and see how long it's been. But I mean, you know, I've consistently done these videos every single day for years and years and years. And, you know, life just caught up to me. I had some other things I wanted to do. And, you know, I really missed it while I didn't do these videos. And I'm back now. So I'm doing the NBA. I'm doing daily videos for NBA, guys. So if you haven't tried Draft Dashboard for NBA, what are you doing with your life? It is fantastic. Keeping up with the daily ownership, that is uploaded every single morning and throughout the day. So the ownership is now solid for NBA. And the NBA tools, you're going to get a lot of value because a lot changes throughout the day and with injuries on a day-to-day basis. So you get all the information at a glance in Draft Dashboard for the NBA. And of course, you can try 30 days for $1, just like anything else. So go ahead, use the tools for the Super Bowl. Try some NBA DFS and see if the tools will help you there. But I just wanted to say thank you guys for subscribing and continuing to watch these videos. And I will be back next year for NFL. So thanks once again and enjoy your Super Bowl Sunday.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NFL slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again and good luck.